Imagine going to the store with a cow. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's how money started. Before coins, before paper, before credit cards, people paid with things you'd never expect. Shells, cattle, salt, giant stone wheels. This is the crazy story of money. Let's start at the beginning. Before money existed, there was barter. I give you my fish. You give me your berries. Simple, right? Wrong. It was a nightmare. Barter has one huge problem, the double coincidence of wants. You need exactly what I have, and I need exactly what you have, at the exact same time. Imagine, you have a cow. You want a bag of rice. Your neighbor has rice but wants an axe. Your other neighbor has an axe but wants corn. Your third neighbor has corn but wants wool. This chain could go forever. It was a nightmare to trade. And there were other problems. A cow can't be split in half. You can't trade half a cow for half a basket. What if you need a little bit of something? Food rots. Animals die. Your money could just disappear. And how do you agree on value? Is one cow worth 5 bags of rice? Or 10? Or 3? There was no standard, so humans needed something else. Something everyone agreed had value. Something durable, portable, divisible. Something that could be money. And that's when things got weird. People started using, well, you'll see. The first real money was cattle, cows, sheep, goats, animals. They were walking wallets. Having many cattle meant being rich. Cattle were perfect money. They could breed and multiply. They gave milk, meat, and leather, and they could walk to market. But cattle had problems. They got sick. They died. You couldn't divide them, and you had to feed them. But cattle left something surprising behind. Your words still remember them. Every time you say capital, it comes from the Latin word caput. That means head of cattle. Capital literally means cattle count. And pecuniary, money-related. It comes from pecus, cattle. Cattle itself comes from chattel, property, wealth, cows. But cows weren't the only money. Salt was worth more than gold. It was called white gold. Why was salt so valuable? It preserved food. Without salt, meat rotted. Without salt, you couldn't survive winter. Salt was survival itself. Roman soldiers were paid in salt. Their salary was salt money. Yes, the word salary comes from salt. Latin salarium, salt money. Your paycheck is still salt money. The Romans also said, worth his salt. A good soldier was worth his salt. Salt gave us salad and sauce too, but cattle and salt were just the beginning. The first real global money was even weirder. It came from the ocean, small, shiny, and hard to fake. Cowrie shells. These tiny shells became the first world currency. From Africa to Asia to Europe, everyone accepted cowrie shells. They were perfect money, small, durable, easy to carry, hard to counterfeit, and everyone agreed they had value. Cowrie shells were used in China. As early as 1300 BC, they were so important that the Chinese word for money still has a shell in it. Look at the character for wealth. There's a shell right in the middle. Money has the shell radical. Treasure has it too. Every word about wealth has a shell. Thousands of years later, the shell remains. But cowrie shells had one problem. They were too easy to find. When people found too many shells, the value dropped. Inflation, even back then. So people tried other things. And they found the strangest money ever. On a tiny island in the Pacific, Yap Island, the people there used stone. Not small stones, giant stones, rice stones. Some were 3.6 meters tall. They weighed up to 4 tons. And they were money. How do you spend a 4-ton stone? You don't move it. You just change who owns it. Everyone remembers who owns what. The stone stays in place. The owner changes. One stone was dropped in the ocean. It sank. It was never recovered. But it still had value. Everyone agreed it was still money, even though no one could see it. This proves something amazing. Money is just a shared belief. We all agree it has value. So it does. That's true for stone coins. That's true for gold. That's true for your digital wallet. All money is just belief. But people wanted something easier, something smaller than cows, something more durable than salt, something more practical than stone. And that's when someone invented coins. The first coins were made of electrum, a natural mix of gold and silver. They were invented in Lydia, modern-day Turkey. Around 630 BC, they were shaped like beans, crude, simple, but brilliant. Each coin had a stamp, the king's symbol. This guaranteed the weight. and the purity. You didn't need to weigh it. You didn't need to test it. The king's stamp was enough. This was revolutionary. Trade became fast. Trade became easy. The Lydian king was Croesus. He made the first gold and silver coins. He became famous for his wealth, rich as Croesus. You still hear it today. Coins spread everywhere. The Greeks adopted them. The Romans made their own. The Persians used them. Suddenly everyone had coins, but coins had one problem. You needed a lot of them. Heavy, loud, dangerous. You couldn't carry enough for big trades, and that's when China changed everything. In the Tang Dynasty, merchants came up with an idea. They created flying money. It was just a receipt. You gave coins to a merchant. They gave you a paper receipt. You traveled to another city. You showed the receipt. You got your money back. It was the first paper money. Then in the Song Dynasty, the government printed real paper money, jiaozi, the world's first banknotes. Paper became money, light, easy, portable, perfect for big transactions. But paper money came with new problems. Inflation, counterfeiting, trust. Money has come full circle, from cows to shells to stones, to coins to paper to digital. But the core is always the same. Money is trust. It works because we believe in it. Your dollars are just paper. Your bank balance is just numbers. But we all agree they have value. That's all money ever was. And that's all money ever will be. The first money was cows, then salt, then shells, then stones, then coins, then paper, then digital. But it's all the same. Shared belief, common trust, human agreement. This is the story of money. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more content like this. This is Sapien Sensen, exploring human history one story at a time. See you in the next video. Goodbye.